Hey Neil, thanks for the video, bud. I'm gonna evaluate it based on, what I got to work with. Next time, make sure you send me a video where we can kind of see his feet too. But from the top, here we go. So you can see as his weight starts to work back, he gets into his load, but he does a big what we call shoulder row, right? So what you can see is that front shoulder basically gets squared up down on that ball, right? Now everything's on the wrong side of his body to start. Also, you can see where his barrel has to start at. Now he's got to get that thing all the way on the other side of his head before we can go to the ball. So first and foremost, remind him that his eyeballs are on his head and not on his front shoulder. So when he works off the tee, let him use his neck to pick up the baseball and use his head to pick up the ball with his eyes, and he doesn't have to roll that front shoulder. Okay? Now from here, his front foot's down, and you can see him start his swing. And because he's so rolled with that front shoulder, you can see he starts to get really long already. You can see that front arm start to arm bar, right? And you can see that back shoulder start to dip here in a second. Boom. Now we're into slot, but it already looks like he's swinging a jackhammer instead of a baseball bat. So what we want to make sure is that angle of his shoulders isn't sloped downhill like that. Okay, we want to make sure that it's level, which is going to allow him to work down to the ball versus underneath. So now from this spot, we already see his arm barred. He's tried to stretch out, right? You can see the shoulder still collapsed. You can see how flat the barrel is back here. You can see where his barrel head is at versus his hands based on where he's going to be at contact point. Now we get to contact point, and that arm's still stretched out across his body. Now as we get to the ball, you can see that he works through it with his top side, but his backside gets through very late. Boom. And you can see how upright he is in his lower half because there's no angle in his legs, right? That back knee is really high from the ground, so that backside's not working like it can.